right, listen up. This is the Music Scene Podcast. I am your host, Dave Kudrak. Today's episode, we've got Josh and Victoria from Jersey Calling. They were named WMMR's Local Shots Artist of the Month in February of 2024. They also opened for Blink-182 and Paramore at the 2023 Adjacent Fest, and they opened the main stage at the 2024 MMRBQ. Make sure you buckle up for this one because pretty much right from the start, this conversation is a blitzkrieg of jokes and stories and all-around chaos. We also get 2 live performances at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. So without further ado, here is my conversation with Josh and Victoria from Jersey Calling. We are here with Jersey Calling, Victoria and Josh. They are an original rock band, punk band, whatever you would call yourselves, right?
Let's go with both.
There we go. That
punk
sounds
rock,
good.
baby.
There you go. And yeah, from the South Jersey area.
So, are we allowed to curse on here?
Yeah, sure.
Fuck yeah.
That's always important for us.
Also,
There you
I want to just state that Victoria, you misnamed our genre. We are not punk rock. We are rock punk.
Oh, rock punk. Oh, my bad.
It's her dyslexia kicking
Yes,
in.
you have no idea. You have no idea.
So close. You were so close.
You have no idea.
But they're actually opposite genres. They're totally opposites. Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Educate me.
That is literally all the knowledge I know. I'm sorry. That's it. I wasn't prepared for a follow-up question at all.
All right. So tell me a little bit about how you guys got started. From what I understand, I think the band looked a little bit different than what it looks like now, right? There's been a couple of iterations, or am I completely wrong?
I mean, if you go all the way back, man, I think there's only been 3 members of the band that have been steady the entire time, and that's me, Randy, Sean. When we first started out, it was a 4-piece. It was me, Randy, Sean, and Phil was our drummer. Phil left, and for a brief period, Sean left, and Randy took over guitar duties instead of bass. And then we had a bunch of guys. We had a guy named Vince on bass. We had a guy named Goon on bass. I think his real name was John. And then we had a Kyle on drums, and God, was there another one? No, I think it was just Kyle.
Okay.
And then the band took a hiatus for a while. It was like 14 years.
Wow.
That was like, 2005 to 2020. Sorry, that's 15. That's math. Math is hard.
We don't
math
math.
ain't mathin'.
Math
All
is
right. So in 2020, we reformed, and it was, again, me, Sean, Randy, and we brought in Jose on drums. And that's a guy that I worked with. I'm a teacher, and he worked in the school that I was working in at the time. And he's a phenomenal drummer. Like he
Absolutely.
plays in a band called the Heartbeats. They're a cover band. They do weddings. They do all kinds of stuff. He's an amazing person, and he's just like a really nice guy too.
Nice.
And that's the same time that I started dating Victoria, and I heard her sing, and I was like, yeah, she needs to be on the album that we're like in the process of making.
Yep. And which album was that?
That was Punk Rock Retirement, which is our, it depends on if you go back to like when people used to buy compact discs. When people bought CDs, we had 2 CDs out from 2002 to 2004 or 5. And they were Hang Ups and Hangovers was our first album. Our second album was called Combat Rock City. So we re-released those 2 albums on streaming as Daddy reissues.
Oh, okay. I saw that album on Apple Music, and I was like, I was going to ask you about it. I was like, what is that?
All our old stuff.
Okay.
We just kind of combined the first 2 albums into a double album.
Cool.
We didn't re-record anything. We just took the original mixes and masters and just dropped those MP3s on Spotify, Apple Music, and all those, all the streaming things. And we released those a year after we did Punk Rock Retirement in 2020.
Okay.
So Punk Rock Retirement features the lineup I said. It was Sean, me, Randy, Victoria, and Jose. And we did that for a while. Jose I think it was like, it was right after Adjacent Fest. We played the Adjacent Festival in 2023 with Blink-182 and Paramore, which is just...
That's awesome.
It's like a dream, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So cool.
And right after that, Jose was like, listen, guys, as you know, like I'm trying to be a dad first. Like I need to spend more time with my family. It seems like you guys are wanting to play out more, and like I really can't commit that kind of time. And so, we parted ways with him amicably. Like I still think Jose is an amazing dude. Like
Jose,
none of us have. We love you, Jose. Yeah. We have absolutely no hard feelings between us.
Very cool.
We also love you, Mel. We miss you as well. His wife, Mel's great.
I was gonna say, who's
I
Mel?
love her.
Who
I
are
love
you
her.
whispering
She's
to?
fantastic.
We don't know who she is, but we love her anyway.
I'm just really liking that right now.
Love it. So then after Jose left, like we kind of didn't have a drummer for a while, and it was tough because like at that point we had started recording our fourth album, Parasocial Security, and we did not have a drummer. Like we had 10 songs ready to go, and we talked amongst the four of us, and we were like, what are we gonna do? But we knew that the studio, the Gradwell House in Haddon Heights, New Jersey. First of all, those guys are amazing. They've done
I've heard
every
good things
album.
about them. Yeah.
They're so
Really
cool.
good.
Yeah.
They're really cool guys. They're super professional, and like, man, like the journey that we've been on with them, like they started way before like, we did. Like I would say probably mid 90s is when Steve Paponi founded it. We recorded with him the first time in 2001 at his house on Gradwell Ave or Gradwell Street in Maple Shade, I think, is where it was. And that was with my first band, Burn Kate. And then we recorded with like, as the studio got bigger, we recorded different albums. Nice. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, so then the Jersey Calling, the first album, was at their second location, which like, I'm kind of probably going out of order here, but like I feel like they had one in Maple Shade. It was kind of a bigger warehouse type deal. There was one in like Gloucester City, I think.
Okay.
And anyway, now in 2020, they have this like huge space on Station Avenue in Haddon Heights. It's an old Masonic temple that they renovated and turned into a recording studio.
That's cool.
And we walked in. Excuse me. We walked in, and I looked around, and I'm like, oh my God, there's no way we can afford these guys anymore. There's absolutely no way. And like, we're recording, and like the audio engineer, Matt Weber, he's downstairs, and he's like, oh, do you want this guy to like help out with a guitar part? And we're like, who is that? And he's like, oh, he records guitar for like Rihanna and a couple other people. I'm like, oh, I don't think we can afford that. He's like, oh, no, he's just a real cool guy. So like, he introduced us to this dude. Like I remember his first name's Clay. Oh, Clay Sears. Clay Sears.
Okay.
He actually played a little bit on Punk Rock Retirement.
Cool.
We gave him an album credit because like, dude, the guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're like a Grammy nominated studio now. Just amazing people at the
awesome.
studio. I can't say enough good things about them. Anyway, that was a huge tangent. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Matt Weber, the audio engineer, also plays drums. So sorry, I had a gig last night, and my throat is done. It is donezo. I promise nothing about the performance later. We'll make some sounds. I don't know if they'll be good sounds.
We got this.
Good.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
I love your confidence. So Matt Weber played drums for us on that album. He was like, oh yeah, he's like, just pay me, this much per song. And so we did that, and he did a phenomenal job. And like pretty much as soon as we were done recording the album, we found John, and he was just a guy that like we had been saying for months at that point that we were looking for a drummer, and we reached out to a couple Facebook groups, and one of them hit, and John tried out with us, and it was like an immediate fit, and he's been with us ever since. So it's been a little over a year since we've had him.
That's
and
awesome.
He rocks, dude.
Very cool.
John's an amazing dude.
Very cool. So name all the band members for me. The current lineup.
Current lineup.
Yep.
We've got Sean Breslin, lead guitar. Randy Ballinger, bass and yelling. Victoria Nicole Maffei Cates, vocals. And professional tambourinist.
Oh, God.
John Tyrannosaurus Voris, percussion, a.k.a. drums. Joshua Cates, vocals and bad guitar.
Very good. Sounds like a solid lineup.
It's something. Something.
That's awesome.
It's a mixed bag. You got some real talented people in there.
Yep.
Present company.
There you go.
Half included.
Let's talk about present company real quick. For those listening that might not know kind of the ins and outs of who you are. So sitting with me now, Josh and Victoria, you guys are husband and wife.
Yes.
Right? And you've been together for how long, roughly?
She has been my hostage since March 3rd, 2023.
Yes.
2023. Okay.
Or at least I like to let him think that.
Yeah, there you go.
Aw.
That brings me to the song Heartstrings. I watched the video on YouTube. Great song. I love some of the lines in it, especially the, heartstrings. You keep my heartstrings in tune. I thought that was amazing. But the video,
I was really hoping you were going to say the Taco Bell line.
Come on.
Taco Bell watching the sunset,
is.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And the video coincides with the lyrics multiple times. So I think that's very cool. I did notice footage of like your engagement. Was that actual footage of you proposing to Victoria?
Yeah. Yeah. So I proposed to her at Longwood Gardens, and so I was like real anxious. I had the ring in my pocket all day. We had gone to see a movie earlier that day, and I had this ring just burning a hole in my pocket,
Right.
man. I was so nervous I was going to lose it, or I don't know. And so we got to Longwood, and immediately, like, we go down the path toward the gardens, like literally no flowers around. And as soon as I found an employee, I was like, "Hey, can you take a picture of us?" And Victoria's like, "What? There's no flowers around." I'm like, no, just it would be really cool if she took a picture of us. And Victoria's like, "All right, whatever." So I'm like, "Hey, go
whatever
back
you
a
want,
little
man.
bit."
I guess this is fine.
I think like a long distance picture would look really good.
And I was like,
so
well, there's nothing.
V steps back a
Fine,
little
fine.
bit into like the nothing, and I say to the lady, I'm like, "Hey, take a video, not a picture." And I'm like starting to walk back toward Victoria. She's like, "Wait, you want a video?" I'm like, "Shut up."
And I'm not paying attention. It's raining. I put my stuff on the ground and I'm like, all right. And I'm just like fixing my hair or whatever. And then all of a sudden I turn and I'm like, what? I was like,
By that point, the lady's taking her video. I'm down on one knee, and I did my proposal.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, I'm guessing she had an aneurysm at the time. She said yes.
definitely aneurysm.
Yeah.
We're going to definitely say.
Yeah. And we spent the rest of the day at so we spent the next like 2 hours at Longwood because like we were really excited, telling our family about it and stuff like that.
I love the picture of you showing the ring to the camera. I don't know if it's that same day or whatever, but in the video, you're flipping the bird, and
That was later.
And
Yeah.
you guys are kissing and flipping the bird to show the. So I was like, usually you got the traditional like, oh, look at my ring. This was.
There's
definitely
nothing
not
traditional about me. Not one bone in this body is traditional.
We did take more traditional pictures to show family, but for the music video, I figured that one was appropriate.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, those were our engagement pictures, which Victoria did. We did it ourselves. Victoria's a master behind
really?
the iPhone camera.
Yeah, so we had some that we went to this bridge in PA that was all graffiti.
Yeah.
And so we took them there. A few sets of those, and then we also got a friend of his, Joey, to do other ones. So we had 2 sets, which was actually pretty cool.
Now, is photography kind of your thing? Do you do that like as a
I
hobby?
would love it,
Yeah.
but I just mess around on the iPhones.
Okay.
I'm an iPhone, picture queen. I'm not really not
think
the true thing, but I want to one day.
I think you're underselling it. Like, you do a really good job. I think you do a great job.
Very
Thank
cool.
you.
Very cool. So now fast forward to the wedding itself, right? Because also in that video, I noticed, I guess there's footage of you guys at your actual reception and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I noticed the bass drum said the Blitz Band. So
So I'm going to rewind a tiny bit.
Sure.
So Heartstrings was the song that like I recorded the demo a few weeks before I proposed, and I had it like ready to go play on my phone. Like, we got back in the car to go to the hotel room for the night, and I was like, I have one more thing for you to try and make today special. And I played Heartstrings for her, and she was super excited. She really liked it.
very cool.
So yeah, the wedding, it was like one of my relatives was like, dude, that was like a concert. Like, it was awesome. He's like, there were like 3 bands that played, because we had the Blitz Band. That was like her dad used to. God, why don't you tell it? I'm sorry.
So
Yeah.
the Blitz is my dad's band. So he retired when he turned 60, and he's actually back now, kind of filling in for them. But they played my wedding, which was really nice because like when I was little, like I was falling asleep in bars, like listening to them play. So like it's really cool. I was like, no, you got to play my wedding. Like that's necessary. And
they were awesome too.
They were great. But then also 2 vocalists in my band and the guitar player, Dane, they played from Gem of the Vibe. So they came up and sang, and then us, Jersey Calling, we performed.
Minus Randy. Unfortunately, Randy was not. I mean, he was there in spirit, but Randy, our bass player, he's the firefighter that fell off the roof, and that happened.
I don't know that story.
Oh, you don't know?
No.
Oh, damn.
I mean, maybe I heard it, but I'm not making the connection.
So a week before our wedding, he's a firefighter in Philadelphia. He fell off a 2-story roof.
Oh, wow.
And broke like everything. He broke his hip. He broke his ankles. He broke bones in his legs.
He had an aortic tear.
Had an aortic tear in his heart. And he had like I think some issues with his head too.
Oh, I don't know about that. I do know
because he had blood in his ear.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so he had this horrible accident, and luckily, man, like he's made a full recovery since then. You know, I'm gonna spoil the ending that like 16 months later, he is now back to work as a Philadelphia firefighter, full time, full duty, like no restrictions.
Good.
And he absolutely loves it, man. He talks about the brotherhood of being, a firefighter all the time. And like, I don't even think he considers it work. Like, he really loves his job.
Nice.
So yeah, we performed at the wedding. It was like an acoustic performance. I played acoustic guitar. Sean played electric.
Jose was there.
I know. Jose was there, yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't really acoustic.
It was acoustic-ish. I played an acoustic guitar. That definitely happened.
I didn't know if it was acoustic or not.
Yeah, I mean, I played acoustic guitar, but maybe I was the only one. Sean probably played electric. Now that I'm thinking about it, and then obviously Victoria and I sang. But it was really fun, man. I think we had a lot of fun at our wedding.
Yeah.
And anyway, so back to Randy's story. So he's injured, and he's getting interviewed by like all these TV channels about his injury because firefighter falls off a roof, breaks like all of his bones, and he's in the papers, he's on the news, and on the news they interview him about his injury, and he's like, yeah, I'm just excited about making my recovery and getting back to work and to playing in my punk band Jersey Calling. And I saw that
6 ABC.
I saw that, and I'm cracking up.
That's
and
amazing.
Not only that, he got them to play a clip from our music video, Our Last Day Outside, which was released 3 years ago yesterday.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, that had just come out a few months before, and he was like, oh yeah, here, play this on the news. And they did. That's the crazy
fantastic.
thing.
Fantastic.
So apparently, it was just kind of those like moments of the universe where just chance happens. A representative from Live Nation happened to see that.
Oh, shit.
And they had
he was a firefighter. I think somebody was a firefighter who also worked at Live Nation or something.
Okay.
And then he's the one who got in contact with Live Nation.
I'm making it sound cooler than it is. All right, my
I think
bad.
that was that.
All right.
I mean, nah.
Well, I
Either
know.
way's cool.
I think
don't
you're
know.
right. I think you are right because like Kenny Scheffel was
that who it
Randy's
was?
friend.
Okay,
and
okay.
he reached out to Randy and said he used to work at Live Nation and that he might be able to get us a spot on the Adjacent Festival. And Randy told me that, and at the time, I hadn't seen any ads for the Adjacent Festival yet, so I had no idea what he was talking about. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool festival in Atlantic
sure,
City.
whatever.
Sure,
Yeah.
we can do it.
No clue.
And Randy's like, yeah, I think it would be really cool, man. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we'll see if Jose's available and everything. And he's like,
We're just like,
okay. And a week
nonchalant.
later, the ad drops, and Sean messages me. He's like, dude, is this the thing we're playing? And I see the flyer for it, and I'm like, Blink-182 and Paramore. I'm like, nah, man, there must be 2 adjacent festivals.
There's no way.
There's no way that's correct.
No way.
And then Randy confirmed. He's like, no, man, like that's the thing. That's the thing he's asking us to play. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Let me message Jose right now because this is a much more important thing than I thought.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, hey, Jose, buddy, like, I know you're kind of on the fence about playing this gig. I know you want to spend time with your family, but we're getting a chance to play with Blink-182 and Paramore. And if you don't play this gig,
I'm going to hate you forever. I know you're like the nicest guy in the universe and no one can hate you, but I will find a way. I will find a way, dude.
Right?
So
I agree 100%.
yeah, so he got in and it was cool, man. Like, you know, they booked us for the Adjacent Festival and like, man, all they knew about us is that Randy was an injured firefighter and they had seen that one clip from our music video on the news. And I think they finally started to like realize that at the beginning of May because they're like, hey, can you guys play a gig at Brooklyn Bowl about a week before the Adjacent Festival?
Yep.
And we're like, yeah. And I'm like, I reached out to Randy. I'm like, this is a tryout, isn't it? This is like, if we suck, they're going to be like, you know what? Like, we really thank you for your service, Mr. Firefighter. But the bill's full. I don't know what to tell you.
You get 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you get a song. A song.
But, you know, we played that gig, and I guess they thought we were good enough to play. And in fact, at that point, they had actually only offered us the one day, the first day with Paramore.
Second day, they surprised us.
And, so it was Jeff Gordon from Live Nation. He surprised Randy with another news interview right after we got done performing at Brooklyn Bowl and asked if we wanted to do the second day too. And so, you know, Jose's there and he's like, I don't know, May 28th. I'm like, it's Blink 182. It's Blink 182, Jose. I swear to God, man.
What are your priorities?
What do you mean?
I'm going to slap you right here in front of your family, dude.
Oh, no.
So Jose like, no, actually, I'm in. I'm good.
That's
I'm
awesome.
glad to hear that, sir.
That's awesome. Did you get to meet any of those bands?
So we didn't get to meet Blink or Paramore. I think they went straight from their tour bus to the stage and back to their tour bus. I think it was like hooked up to the back of the stage in such a way where they did not have to interact with the peasants.
Jimmy at World had the same situation. Like, I saw them, and then like they just kind of like, goodbye.
Yeah.
You know?
But we did get to interact with Midtown, which is like, that was a huge deal for me and Randy, man, because like, we had grown up listening to their music, and they're from New Jersey, and they're incredible. Like, I love Midtown. They're an amazing band. And so we got to meet them. That was really cool. We got to meet a bunch of the bands. Like, my mind is
McMahon? Who else do we make? No, what's his name?
Ed McMahon?
No, I'm not good at this. I'm terrible with names. Everybody can hate me for it. I don't care.
What about the guy from that band that I thought he was just like dressed really nice? Motion City Soundtrack?
Oh my God.
Nice.
Oh,
Is that
man, no. Oh,
We're never going to find
I
out.
don't
and
know
you're
that
never
man's
gonna
name.
know his name either. You're not gonna know his name because I'm blank every time. It's like a stage fright almost when somebody says, "Remember this name," and I'm like, "No."
So we'll go with
Deer in the headlights. Get me out of here.
The well-dressed man who was the singer from Motion City Soundtrack.
Nice.
I saw him backstage and I was like, dude, that is a pimp-ass suit. That is amazing.
I was like,
and he's like,
that's the
thanks,
singer.
man. And Victoria comes up with this look on her face, and I'm like, shit, I'm talking to someone famous, and I don't know them.
I was like, "What are you doing?" And then I was like, "By the way, hi," and like just tears. I was just like, "I'm having," and because I'm so cool. And yep. The guy who wrote with Taylor Swift, we met him.
I was
too.
about to say that. Yeah, Jack Antonoff. We got
That's
to
the
meet
name.
him.
Oh, I know that
Andrew
name.
McMahon was
Yeah.
there, but we didn't meet him. But we did meet. That was his
So
name.
curious who McMahon is.
It's Andrew McMahon. Damn. We're gonna look him up later. So I need like a fact checker with me at all times. Swear to God.
Today is the first time I'm hearing this name.
He
The
was there,
festival
I
was like
swear.
16 months ago.
I swear.
It's the first time I'm hearing this.
Look, it's the first time I've ever actually talked in an interview, so leave me alone.
Great. Well, you're doing a bang up job.
You're killing it.
Thanks.
Jack Antonoff. Yeah. So I didn't know who he was. I did not know.
I wouldn't know who he was either.
And-
you know?
And so like he came up and said hi to us. Ike Richmond, guy from Live Nation, who like we still talk to, a really nice guy.
He's cool. Cool dude.
So he introduced us to Jack Antonoff, and I whispered to Sean, I'm like, yo, Sean, who's this? He's like, it's not my job to educate you
my
about
God.
popular culture, Josh. It's called Google. And I'm
It's
like, all right, man. My bad. And he's like, he's the
got
producer
you.
for Taylor Swift, and now shut up. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, man. And so like, we meet him, take some pictures, and then we go out and we watch Bleachers. And I'm like, hey, Sean, the singer of this band is that guy we just met. He's like, I fucking know.
But then
Everyone fucking knows that.
but that day we also met Wheatus, and I didn't
Oh,
realize.
yeah, Wheatus, they were cool.
I had no idea. So there was a woman in the back, and she was
That one's
there's like a
McMahon.
straw. Yes, she was. Yes, Miss McMahon. No, she she was doing the straw method, like, and it's like humming into a straw, like and you have to like make the bubbles consistently bubble, like they can't do
Okay.
more or less, so it's like breath control.
Okay.
And I was just like, that's so cool. I'm like, you do that too? And then we just started talking about it. No clue. She comes out, and then he's like, oh, what band are you with? And they go, Wheatus. And my jaw, I was just like, and then that was it. And then no words. And then we talked for a while. They were so cool.
And she introduced herself. She's like, I'm McMahon. No,
I'm
first,
McMahon.
No first name. It's like Madonna.
I'm McMahon. I actually did that to somebody the other day at the open mic. His
you call yourself?
Pete. You guys know Pete.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm Pete. I was like, I'm Pete. And I was
Oh my
like,
God.
what?
That's
And I looked at him
amazing.
and I went, that's not it. I was like, who am I?
not how this
I don't even know who I am anymore.
That's great.
we're gonna have such a good time when we're old and in a retirement home together, just torturing the people who work there. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Wait.
Here comes that McMahon couple again.
And our family's going to be like, who?
Yes.
What?
These are the McMahons.
Oh.
Josh and Victoria McMahon.
And then the one person I did know from Adjacent Fest, because I'm old, and I don't know anybody. I was really excited to see James Bowman from Against Me.
Okay.
So Against Me was not playing. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. But he was helping out with LS Dunes. LS Dunes was the name of the band he was helping out with. And dude, it was so cool to meet him. That was like the one moment that day that I was starstruck, because I was like, your music is so influential on me. Oh my God. Yeah.
So how did you guys play at the Adjacent Festival?
I have no idea.
How the shows go? Does it?
There's video. Thank God for phones and like pictures and videos, because no memory. Memories nowadays are useless.
There
So-
are 3 shows in my life where I just kind of mentally check out.
Right.
And they were the 2 days of the Adjacent Fest and the MMRBQ.
Yep.
yeah.
Because, dude, like, you look out and you see that many people, and I'm just like, nope, I'm gonna disassociate
There you
now.
go. It's like
And-
survival mode.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and like it looks like we played well. The
Yeah.
videos seemed fine.
Seems awesome, yeah.
I somehow remembered lyrics to the songs that we wrote.
I did things and stuff,
Yeah.
and
I shook some things.
and
sang
yeah,
some
there
words.
was a clangy happening, and some of it was in my brain. My brain.
It's funny
moving back
because
and
I
forth.
remember the sound checks. I remember the sound checks very well.
Yeah,
I don't remember the show so much.
The only thing I really remember is being backstage and just seeing like Lizzie Hale and just
Yeah.
looking at her,
Oh,
and
dude,
I was just
that was
like,
crazy.
And
like-
you saw the Offspring like in the hallway too, right? I think I saw a post.
We got
of-
to
Did you
meet
meet some of those
Noodles
folks?
very briefly.
Okay.
They hung out in their dressing room most of the night. I mean, dude, the Offspring's huge, and they've
Yeah,
been
sure.
doing this since like maybe the late '80s, but
Yeah.
definitely early '90s.
Yeah. I mean, that's "Keep 'Em Separated" song came out in the early '90s. I think.
Yeah, and they had an album before that. That was their second album.
Yeah. Yep.
So like, I think they had been doing things since like '91 or '92, if I had to take a guess. Hailstorm was like, they were hanging out like in the hallways of the backstage like the
Yeah.
entire time. Like
Nice.
they were like so down to earth and chill as fuck. That's cool. Like, I mean, like RJ was not chill. RJ was the most hyperactive person I've ever met in my life.
dude, he was awesome.
Um,
and congratulations to him. He just
oh,
got
yeah,
married
he-
recently.
Yeah, he just
yeah?
got married, so
Yeah.
congratulations to RJ Hale and
Not
his
that
wife.
He knows who we are
Emily, I
anymore,
think.
but like they were very cool, you know.
All right, I'm gonna sound like a complete noob. Like, who's RJ?
RJ is the drummer for Hailstorm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Lizzie Hale, who's the lead singer. That's her brother.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I got real confused because I know Lizzie Hale, the lead singer, and the
Mm-hmm.
band's namesake. I guess I didn't realize her brother was the drummer.
I found that out at the show because
Gotcha.
they were talking about how like they constantly compete with each other over like music.
Okay.
Yeah, they're my favorite. So like
yeah?
I've been
Okay.
listening to them for an eternity.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's
I've seen a couple interviews with her. She seems super cool, you know. So about MMRBQ, right? I know you guys were named the local Shots Artist of the Month in February 2024, which is amazing. Congratulations on that.
Thanks, man.
I assume that led to the MMRBQ, but I mean there are monthly winners of that. So how did you guys get selected to do the MMRBQ?
Dumb luck, man.
Yeah.
We got selected in February, and as a result of that, you know, like we told our friends and family, and we got like a group of friends that like we have this big group chat with called Project Mayhem.
shout out Project
And,
Mayhem.
yeah, shout out to Project Mayhem. Those guys are amazing. You know, a few by name. Let's go with like Erica, Chris, Ashley. Why am I coming up with 3 names? Help me out. Come on. Like I'm dying here. Angela.
I feel like there's 50 people in
There's
this,
so
in this
many
group.
people
Vaughn.
in here. Vaughn. God, I'm bad. Bob. John.
McMahon's in there.
McMahon. We got we are yeah. We got McMahon in there. Jesus. Don't look at me. I know people when I see them, and that is the best I can do.
Samantha.
I'm
Other Samantha.
Don't make me do this. Don't make me.
Jess. Krista.
There's a lot of women in this group chat. What's
Yes.
happening?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if it's more dudes or more women.
Chicks.
What's your
It's
fan
chicks
base
all day.
like? Do you have females or males in the audience? I'm just curious.
That's a
Not,
great
you know.
question. What do you think, Victoria?
The Colemans.
Yeah, Brittany and Ryan. There we
Right.
go.
They'll just start springing into my brain then, especially.
We're just
20
gonna call
minutes
out
later.
names in the middle
Yeah,
of
right.
sentences.
Just, I'm much better at that because I'm
Maybe
not
I'll do it in the
stressed
middle of a
about
song.
remembering. It's that. It's like I'll do the same thing with lyrics on stage, and I'll just stare at somebody. I'm like, I know you know it. I'm like, you help me out here. But
Dave Kudrak.
yeah.
Wait, no, wait. Sorry, I was reading your name off the sticker in front of me.
Oh man. Yeah. Nope. What?
He definitely asked you a question.
I squirreled.
Yeah.
I squirreled out.
Demographic. Not that it really
Oh,
matters.
I
I'm
think,
I'm
like-
just curious. Do you have mostly women fans or mostly men?
I think
fans?
you
Or
probably
an even mix.
because when they started, like, you're in your 20s, right? Early 20s, high
Yeah.
school, early 20s. So like I think probably a lot of chick ladies, a lot of the chicksters were hanging out.
I mean, look at this guy. Come on.
You know? They were a bunch of stud muffins. So
I like how you corrected yourself from saying chicks. I'm not allowed to say that word. You are. If you're a chick, you can say chick.
well,
how it
wait, why
works.
people can't say chick now?
I mean,
that
I
a
feel like
thing?
you can.
I'm okay
I don't know.
with it. I'm
Chicks.
okay with it.
Chicks and dicks. It's like a thing, right? Isn't it? I don't know. What? All right.
We'll find out when this video goes
He's
up on
like-
YouTube.
and everybody's like, "What?" He's like, "These two, obviously. Thank God they're in
You
therapy.
could be canceled
Thank
by
God-
next week.
Thank God you're in therapy."
I want Victoria to get canceled for saying the word chicks. That'll just make my day.
And I'll be like, "What the fuck, man? What do I do?" Yeah, no, I think you had a good amount of the ladies.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if I had to guess, and I'm going to guess badly, it's going to be 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I know whenever I've seen you at Red, White, and Brew and stuff, it's always been an even mix.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious as how we ended up from local shots artist of the
Jeremy,
month to-
Katrina.
yeah, there you go. There's two.
Yes.
Speaking of Red, White, and Brew.
People who don't talk that often, the two that actually are in Project Mayhem, I swear to God, just them, is Bob and John.
Yeah, they talk. Yeah, they
Bob and
They're-
John, it's you two.
They should
It's
have
you
a
two,
they should
man.
have a talk show. Anyway, so getting back to like how do we actually get picked for the MMRBQ? So we told the guys in Project Mayhem, and we told our friends and family, and we were like, hey, like, they're playing us on the radio, so I think you can call in or text in and request us. And if you give a dog a bone,
They showed up.
Nice.
yeah,
They
so they
showed up
showed
for
up,
us.
and a lot of them called in and texted in, and I don't know, but I have a feeling that MMR got a decent amount of requests for us,
Yep.
and that could be the reason that we got picked. I don't know that that's true. If you're a band listening and you're like, wait a minute, like, how do we get on the MMRBQ? Like, maybe.
Yeah.
That could be it, but I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, you know?
Yeah, sure. No, I mean it's reasonable to think that. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And then you guys opened the main stage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, it was so cool. Like, because I've seen so many of my, of my favorite bands growing up on that stage. It was amazing.
I think my first concert there was Britney Spears.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Good
I
for
think
you.
mine was the
baby.
Y100 festival.
Oh yeah.
Y100
Which
festival,
one?
man.
I went to one of those.
Oh, man.
I went to the last one.
I think I went in 98 and 99.
Yeah, it might have been around the same time I went.
Yeah.
I think in that one night, Stone Temple Pilots and Soundgarden played. So I don't know if you were at that one, but it started raining. Soundgarden was the headliner, and and I had lawn seats, and it started pouring. And
I feel like I didn't see Soundgarden.
okay, and my friends were like, "I'm out of here, man. This is miserable," you know. And then
The
I'm
best
like,
when it starts raining.
yeah, and then I'm like, well, all right, if you guys are leaving, I'm gonna hang out. And then as soon as they left, I tried to find. I managed to sneak under the roof, like maybe 2 rows in. I just grabbed an empty seat, you know, snuck by the security guard, and I got to see friggin' Chris Cornell. You know,
That's cool.
And he's not around anymore, so that's
true.
kind of a big deal.
What?
You know,
That
I
is
think the
awesome.
rain makes it fun because you can then you get muddy, and the mud gets fun.
That's when I saw Linkin Park there,
Okay.
and that was with the rain
Sure.
and
I'm fairly
just
sure
so
I saw them there, too.
epic, so epic.
I'm trying to think, where was the Warp Tour around here? Was the Warp Tour there? It was definitely a smaller stage because I remember going to Warp Tour in 2000 and seeing Green Day on the Warp Tour stage, and that was kind of a smaller stage for Green Day.
Yeah.
Did you go to Warp Tour?
I never did.
Never
no.
did? Oh man, good times.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think of? I'm going to ask you a question.
ahead.
What do you think about Warp Tour coming back in 2025?
I think it's interesting. You know, I hope it lives up to the hype. Sure.
What if Jersey Calling plays Warp Tour in DC? Would you go?
Yeah, sure.
Is that
Absolutely.
the only way that you would go?
Yeah, yeah.
See?
Honestly, it is.
We didn't shake our heads at you to
honestly,
try
it
and get
is.
you to answer.
You
No,
know?
not at all.
No, a little bit of background on me.
You heard
right?
it here, Kevin Lyman.
A little bit of background on me. I grew up in the heyday of hair metal and thrash metal. So I am a fan of the big four: Metallica, Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer. And my favorite band of all time has always been AC/DC.
Oh, good band. Good
yeah,
choice.
Yeah, I mean, I was in first grade when I heard Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was helping my dad put paneling up in the upstairs of my grandmother's house, and I heard Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap for the first time, and I was like, oh my God, who is this? And he was like, that's this band AC/DC, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, you guys might be too young, we went to Clover department store. Do you remember Clover?
I'm not too young.
We went to Clover.
I used
and
to
bought the
ride my
cassette
bike
tape.
on the hills behind Clover. They were
Which one? It's Cinnaminson. I
Oh,
lived
okay.
in
All right. My bad.
Cinnaminson.
So
Okay.
there was one in Westmont or Oakland.
Okay.
Westmont, I think. And behind it, there was woods, but there was a trail in the woods that would lead to a bike path, like a BMX dirt bike path.
yeah.
And you could ride the little hills. Man, I got so hurt back there. I had a good time.
Nice. Well, so the point of the reason why I say you guys would be the only reason why I would go to Warped Tour is I was never a skater, right? I never had a skateboard, never owned one. I tried it once or twice and sucked at it. So I was just like, this ain't for me.
I started doing it at 40.
Did you really?
Yeah, I started doing it 2 years ago.
Wow.
Probably the worst decision I've ever made, for my health.
Okay.
But I'm having a great time doing it,
Nice,
man.
nice.
It's the most fun exercise I've ever done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to snowboard quite a bit.
Nice.
So I got into my whole 311 phase, I listened to 311 a lot while I was snowboarding and bands like that, but I was never a full-on skater. And it's my understanding that Warped Tour is kind of centered around that.
I mean, yeah and
lifestyle.
no. I feel like it's a mix between the extreme sports like skateboarding, BMXing, like rollerblading at the time.
Right.
But it's also punk
Okay.
music. And then it evolved over the years to be when
Hardcore
ska
music,
was
some hardcore ska.
when ska was popular for 3
yeah.
minutes.
Yep.
It was
Mighty
it was
Mighty
ska
Boss
music.
Tones.
It's still popular
Real
to
Big
me.
Hey,
Fish.
I love ska, but it was only popular for 3 minutes. It really
Rude.
I think it was 1997 for 3 minutes in the month of March-ish.
Well, in my opinion, it's hard to digest a band that has an interpretive dancer on stage with the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
See, that was the first band that I really loved. The Boss Tones, man. I saw them on stage. I was like, I love that. I love
was
it
like,
so
what's
much.
that guy's job? What is he doing? Oh, he's just dances.
He's the hype
okay.
man.
I want that job, man. We should all be so lucky.
To be just hype man. That's the job.
Man, people want us working 9 to 5, 5 days a week.
Oh, you just mentioned part of my dream. 3 days a week is really what the work week should be. By that, just me.
You know what? Let's just make it a 4-hour work week. Let's
That's
just,
cool too.
Just
sounds
become major rock stars and you'll never work a day in your life. Then you'll have a 0 work day because you'll always be having fun.
I mean, I think I would have a lot of fun doing that, but I know it is a lot of like sleep deprivation and a lot more work than it looks.
I think
That's sacrifice. It's a different level of sacrifice.
Yeah.
to
I'll
me.
say this,
Yeah.
like the MMRBQ was one of the most fun days of my life. Also one of the most exhausting.
Really?
Because
How-
I mean,
how so?
we woke up
tired.
at what, 4:30 or 5 to get to we had to get to like Sean's to load up the equipment. We had to be at the Freedom
We
Mortgage
went
Pavilion.
to Randy's.
Randy's, sorry. Yeah, we
We
had to
went
go
to
all the way out to
Roxborough.
Roxborough. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then we had to and like, we had to get ready and like look stage ready, whatever, which
Oy.
like I got to be pretty, man.
So what
2
Victoria-
hours for me.
Victoria wakes up beautiful.
Oh,
I
you
take
mean,
a lot of work.
You mean those 2 hours you love waiting for me? Is that what you mean? Is that sure.
So what time did you have to be there that you had to get up at 4:30 in the morning?
10, 11?
And then what time
We
was
were there like
what time
I
was
thought
show?
it
It might have been
Fine.
earlier than that. It
I
might have
got
been
there like
because
8 or
we
9.
had to play at 1.
Okay.
So we had to
sound
like
checked at like 10.
Yeah.
That's what I
check.
thought. I thought we were early.
so we had to like load and we thought like, okay, like it's the MMRBQ, like full backline, right? They're like, no. Bring
Really?
None.
everything.
Oh wow. Okay.
Or like, well, you'll have a PA, right? They're like, maybe. Now they had a full PA, obviously.
Yeah.
And their sound guy Andrew was amazing. Like we worked with this guy at Adjacent Festival, and we worked with him at the MMRBQ. And Andrew, shout out to you. There's no way you're listening to this, but you're amazing.
He was one of, but we also had other ones. There was like another dude too. Like I think that they had like because then they have like the people who are out there who
Oh,
were like
yeah,
listening,
yeah.
and then you have the
Yeah.
people who are off to the side of the stage who are then also giving you the direction. So it's like a whole team of sound people. It's not just like one person running the show. It was
That's
crazy.
a good call. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one guy I talked to was Andrew though. So
Well, he did sound for the side stage the one year, and he also did sound for Adjacent. So like he's like a Live Nation dude. So
Oh,
it was
nice.
really cool to like work with him and see him anyway that day.
it's possible that McMahon was the other
It was
sound guy.
McMahon. It was McMahon. Everybody is McMahon.
Yeah.
You are McMahon. I
That's right. We are
am
all
McMahon.
McMahon.
We are all McMahon.
Yeah, super cool guy. But yeah, so sound check at 10, and then like we got to eat something, and then we played at 1, and then I mean, at that point after we were done playing, sure, could we have gone home?
Yeah,
we
but-
could
yeah,
have.
but you wouldn't want to.
Why?
Sure.
Yeah, like you got the whole day to like hang out backstage and meet bands that like I'm never gonna get the opportunity to meet like The Warning or POD or Offspring
Hey,
or
you wanna
Hailstorm,
do a
dude. It was insane.
That's great.
I was supposed to go to a wedding that day, and
Oh,
John
no.
got me a fill-in, and I was like, "You are beautiful." I'm like, "Thank you so much," because like then it was later that night when I actually got to meet Lizzie Hale. So I was just like, if I didn't get that moment, I would have just probably hated everything for the rest
Well,
of my life.
sure.
Josh and Alyssa's wedding. We had to leave a little bit after, like in the middle of the
Yeah.
reception. We had to
No,
leave
no.
because
we the reception. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I was
we stayed
thinking
for the wedding.
ceremony.
but we left
Yeah.
in the middle of the reception
Yeah, we did.
because the next day we had Adjacent, and like
They understood.
at that point it was
Sure.
like
They were like-
9:00, 10:00 at night, and we're like, dude, we got to get down to Atlantic City and get a hotel room and still wake up in that hotel room early in order to get to this gig because it was Memorial Day weekend
Oh, yeah.
at the
yeah,
shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And being music people themselves, they got it. They
Sure.
were like, if it were our dream, yeah,
Yeah,
like we
right.
would, we
Yep.
understand. So
That's
they were,
awesome.
yeah.
Pop quiz.
Oh no.
Not a pop quiz, because you know
We know how I am with answers.
You know the answer.
No names and tests.
So projections. Is that your wedding dress in the video?
Yes, it is. Randy actually asked me to wear it because he didn't get to see me.
Oh, that's
and
right.
we had
That's
to wear
cool.
white.
Yeah, I saw you
for
guys
like
were all
for
wearing
the
white.
for the projection of
Yeah.
us and like our past shows and things. So
Yep.
like that.
And
Yeah.
you got to wear your wedding dress more than once.
I did.
Which
Yeah,
people
that
are
is pretty
like,
cool.
oh, it's this expensive dress that you only get to wear once. Haha. She got to wear it twice.
Yeah. And I got a good deal on my dress, and it looked phenomenal. So anyway.
You do look amazing in it. Yeah.
But yeah. So it was a good time. That was a very good day.
And that was filmed at Red, White, and Brew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Our buddies in Red, White, and Brew, like, they hooked us up twice in the past year, like, because we got to do the music video at their place, and we did our record release show there, which was
Okay.
huge. Like,
Yep.
we had a
That's
great
exciting.
time that day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys are obviously an original rock band. I'm basically a cover artist. I've got a handful of original songs, but all of the gigs that I play, I'm a cover guy. So what is the original music scene like for you guys? I had Michael Songs in here the other day, and he is an original. He's like a solo original guy. So I'm just kind of curious, like, what's the original music scene kind of look like in South Jersey or just general area?
It's kind of like what you do, except the audience is much smaller and the flow of money is reversed.
Okay.
Instead of money coming to the person playing, it's going from the person playing into the recording process. And some venues are like, oh, well, you gotta put a deposit down to play this place.
Right.
And it's like, okay, buddy. We try to avoid those places
Sure.
if possible.
Yeah, the pay to play places you don't really try to.
Yeah,
try to
man,
do
but you
those,
know,
right?
you pay your dues. Dude, we played at the Stone Pony.
I saw that video,
The
yeah.
Stone Pony was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it was pay to play. They
Oh,
were
was
like,
it? Was it?
Yeah, they were like, you have 50 tickets and you need to sell them if you want to play this gig. We did manage to sell 60 tickets.
Yep.
So like we paid the guy and we got a cut of like what
Okay.
what the tickets were.
Gotcha.
So like I guess technically it's kind of a pay to play, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't actually know because we did manage to sell them. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. That Brooklyn Bowl show, I know you guys said it was kind of a tryout for the adjacent festival, right? More
Yeah.
or less. What did you open for somebody? What did that look like?
It was just us.
Okay.
We played on the stage, and it was like was it Tuesday? It was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like in the middle of the week, and they were it was like they were gonna have us on one day,
was
and
supposed to
instead
be
they had us
Tuesday.
the next day.
They moved it to Wednesday.
because they had this little act named Janet Jackson.
Yeah, it was her birthday. It was her. If we got bumped for Janet Jackson, I'm gonna be perfectly honest.
They still-
no, I'm just kidding. No,
They
like,
didn't even clean up
What?
the decorations. They were like
No,
balloons
balloons
still
in
on
the
the ceiling.
ceiling. I saw
Yeah.
them.
That was from Janet Jackson's birthday party. Yeah.
no, Janet Jackson. What? I used to listen to her. All the girls at the party, look at that body, shaking that. You have no idea.
Nah.
I was so.
The
I
song-
was like, she was here. You have no idea.
The song she did with Michael Jackson though, "Scream."
Well, yeah.
that
Make
was
me
killer.
want to scream. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, so we played on like a Wednesday. No, we did not get a ton of people to show up because it was a Wednesday, and I think
Sure.
we had like a week notice for it. So we're
Oh,
like,
okay.
we invited our friends, we invited our family.
Yeah.
They also said they're like, it isn't like a show. Like you can invite your friends and family. It's going to be catered. And we're like, okay, cool. So we weren't really sure what to expect, but we did invite, we invited friends, we invited family, and we invited our photographer and friend Ethan James
Yes.
Todd on Instagram.
TODT.
TODT. Make sure to follow him. He's amazing.
Tudud.
And he took awesome pictures that night, and we were stoked. It was
That's
fun.
fantastic.
And actually, one of the bands from Adjacent I just wanted to remember was Knocked Loose, and we met the lead singer's dog. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
made me
Oh,
so
really?
happy. I felt like I was like imposing on him, but I got to meet his dog, and that was really cool. I had to remember that because it's funny because like we got to screenshot the day.
Oh,
so
okay.
like I saved it, and I'm going to have it forever.
Nice. One last question. Backstreet Driver. Love that song. What's everybody arguing about in the video? It's like the worst Thanksgiving dinner ever.
Who came up with the concept? Was it Ethan?
I feel like it was Ethan.
He wanted us to have a food fight. Like that's
Yeah,
what
he
he
did.
wanted.
I was
did.
waiting for someone to just grab the table and flip
And
the whole
Jess
thing.
was like, "Not in my house."
Yeah, no, it was. So we did it in Sean and Jess's house. Jess is Sean's wife, and she's also our manager in the band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she
And
helps us out.
She was like, absolutely not. You are not throwing food in my house. She's like, first of all, I don't want to clean that. Second of all, if any of my kids see you guys throwing food, they're going to think it's okay, and I'm not dealing with that.
Understood, Mom.
That's
Understood.
awesome. That's fantastic. Earlier, before we started this conversation, you said you're heading down to Nashville. You're doing a show?
Yes, we are. So on March 7th, we're heading down to Nashville to play at Cobra Nashville. And we're playing with 3 bands there. We're going to be playing with The Catastrophes, Graveyard Kids, and Living with Ghosts. And they're 3 bands from the Nashville area. I was frantically trying to find some like local acts in the past like 2 weeks. And they were the 3 punk bands that like I managed to find down there that sounded cool and like genuinely seemed like cool guys. The Catastrophes actually might join us. We're currently looking into booking the next day in Louisville, Kentucky. So,
cool.
So they're helping us out with finding a venue there.
Nice.
Yep.
And how did that come about? Is that just a show that you booked on your own somehow, or how did that Nashville gig come about?
So yeah, so we're possibly, we're not sure. Like we have a connection there who works at Mix 92.9 named Deanna. She used to work at WMMR, and there's a possibility we could be playing on her radio station.
Oh, cool.
But that's not set in stone or anything, so I don't want to, want to like say that's definitely happening or not. But like, we figured like she's out of Nashville, the radio station is out of there, and we've never played there, so what the hell? Why not play there and make a weekend out of it? You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So like if the radio thing happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, it's still cool to play a city that's like so historically known for its music.
Yeah.
I went there for a bachelorette, so like
Did
we
you
went
really?
to each, and most of the more famous bars, like so we went to all those, and I thought it was phenomenal going from like one floor to the next floor, to the next floor, to the next floor, to the roof, and it's just every single floor has music. I was like, this is the coolest place to be. Like, it was
great.
so cool.
Yeah, so much fun. I think I was following you guys on Instagram or Facebook. I can't remember. And I saw a post of like your schedule. This was maybe about a year or so ago.
Oh God, yeah.
And you guys had shows in like Ohio and stuff. Were you on like a mini tour or something like that?
Kind of something like that.
did
Yeah,
that
we
work?
were definitely going from place to place. It was definitely one of it was kind of on Josh's bucket list. He's like, I want to like tour and like go around, and I want to give our music into different areas. So like that was kind of a dream and something that we got to do, which is very cool.
That's awesome. How long was that? Was that just like a couple weeks or?
So we did that for a few, we do it over weekends.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was
I
like,
gotcha.
so we do like a weekend, and then, they went from like York, PA to somewhere in Ohio, and I didn't get to go that weekend. And then, come back, or we went to Connecticut and then Massachusetts and then to Atlantic City. So like, that's all just like
awesome.
one weekend, and you wake up Monday and go to your 9 to 5 and you're like, what the fuck? But like, it was still a good time.
I bet.
Yeah.
All right. What are you guys going to play for us? You got a song for us?
Yes. All right. So the first song we're gonna play is, which one do you want to play first?
I don't know. There's 2 songs. that we're gonna
Midlife
play.
Crisis.
Okay. The first song we're going to play is Midlife Crisis. It is the middle track off our album, Parasocial Security.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
I wanna
go!
throw my guitar right out this fucking window. I don't ever wanna hear the sound of my voice again. Cause I've been screaming while I've tried for 30 years, trying to find something you can remember when I'm dead. I wanna grow my hair out like a dirty hippie. I wanna act like I've always lived off the land. It's pretentious and it's tired, but I'm otherwise uninspired. Another midlife crisis for a boring white man. We all laugh at our reflections in the mirror, cause we all know it's just a slow slide to the end. Getting flabby, getting gray, we're all bedridden as we decay. Well, our children curse at everything we said. So I'm gonna sing this song right out my fucking window. I don't care who hears or what they've got to say. Cause we're all punks and we're all squares and life is never gonna be fair. I'll sing this song until my dying day. I'll sing this song until my dying day. The second song is Projections, which is the single that we just released back in September of this year. On your feet, take a stand, what's the hold up now? Call me cautious, or reluctant, overthinking, calculating, keep the beat, punch it loud, look 'em in the eye, masquerade my trepidation, watch a coward lie, and die.
It's never good with direction, my inflection is slipping and my throat is dry.
Sometimes
It's not cold sweat, just projection, circumspections of my circumstances amplified.
choke it down, lock it up, smiles all around. A million tiny voices shout, intrusive thoughts abound. Filtered pegs, camera tricks, measure me with clicks. Change the numbers, body shaking, gotta give a fix. And die.
Never good with direction, my inflection is slipping and my throat is dry.
Sometimes
It's not cold sweat, just projection, circumspections of my circumstances amplified.
it's indirect, we deflect and project. Isolate and course correct. But I object and reject the perfect. Signal lost, can't reconnect.